have to add or subtract these radicals. So remember, for adding and subtracting radicals, okay, adding and subtracting, just like adding and subtracting with fractions, you need to have like radicals. And like radicals means that they have the same number, oops, there we go, inside the radical, okay? So it doesn't matter what number is out in front, they have to have the same number on the inside of the radical to add or subtract. So if I look at this, I have negative radical 6, minus radical 54, minus 2 radical 2, minus radical 18. If I look at those numbers inside, 6, 54, 2, and 18, none of them are like radicals, so I couldn't combine any of those right now. However, I do know that a few of those could be simplified, right? Now the square root of 6, this is really, the factors of 6 are square root of 3 and square root of 2. Neither one of those is a perfect square, so I can't do anything with that, so I don't need to break that one at all. So radical 6 just stays how it is. However, square root of 54, this could be the square root of 9 times the square root of 6, and 9 is a perfect square. Square root of 2 on the next one, no factors of that is a perfect square. 2 is not a perfect square, so nothing can do there. But the square root of 18, that I can do. This becomes the square root of 9 and the square root of 2. All right, so let's see. I'm going to bring down my negative 2 radical 6. That's not changing. I'm going to bring down my negative sign, right? But now I have the square root of 9, which becomes 3. Radical 6 can't do anything, so it's saying how it is. So that second term became minus 3 radical 6 instead of radical 54. I'm going to bring down my minus 2 radical 2. I couldn't do anything with that. I'm going to bring down my negative. And now I've got the square root of 9. Again, it's 3. Square root of 2 I can't do anything with, so it's staying radical 2. So now that last term became minus 3 radical 2. All right, now I'm going to go through and look at these. Oops, sorry about the bell. So here I have a radical 6 and a radical 6, so those two I'll be able to combine. Over here I have a radical 2 and a radical 2, so those two I'll be able to combine. Now, these radicals, once you get like radicals, work just like variables, right? If I said I have negative 2x minus 3x, I would get negative 5x, right? The x doesn't change, just like the radical doesn't change once you start adding, okay? When adding or subtracting, the radical does not change. That's why they have to have the same radical, because if they didn't have the same radical, you wouldn't know which one to keep. Okay, so once you're actually adding and subtracting, you're just looking at the numbers in front, and you combine those, whatever operation it tells you, and then the radical doesn't change. So now I could do negative 2 radical 2 minus 3 radical 2 would also give me negative 5 radical 2. So I have negative 5 radical 6 minus 5 radical 2, and you could definitely put those in whatever order you wanted to. You could have the negative 5 radical 2 first, and then the negative 5 radical 6. Just be careful that your negatives line up with the terms that you want. Okay, so adding and subtracting, you have to have like radicals, which means you got to simplify those radicals first.